What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button, and if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the real of reality TV. I really hate even discussing this, but honestly, it's disgusting, and it, I feel, proves the point as to why Keke Jabbar's uncle put that post out there and even did the video saying that they did not want the Scotts and, you know, those from the show to come to any celebrations of life, any homegoing services for Keke, because the relationship just wasn't even like that. So to hear funkydineva, who claims he is a friend to the Scotts, and notice the words I use, to the Scotts, and Miss Wanda, like he calls her Wanda J. Blige, which don't even disrespect Mary J. Blige in that way, but I digress. To hear him say the things that he said about this woman and the insinuations, I didn't like it at all. I'm going to play the clip. I actually heard this on Empress Radio, so I'm giving her this credit, and I, again, am completely disgusted by this. So let's just go ahead and get into what he had to say.
Take a minute, and it's gonna get dark for 1 second here. God bless the dead. We gotta talk about Keke from Love and Marriage Huntsville. So when the news broke that Keke had passed, you know, I think a day or two went by. Nobody knew anything. No one knew anything. Then, you know, one of her friends or somebody close to her, in an effort to refute the fact that she overdosed, or in an effort to refute the rumors, not the fact, the rumors that she overdosed, said friend / person revealed that Keke was found in her car running, unresponsive in the garage. Now, obviously, the woman hasn't even been deceased for a week yet. You know, everybody's trying to be relatively respectful and not write presumptuous things on the internet because the family has to see it. But each and every one of y'all would be a doggone lie if the moment y'all didn't hear found unresponsive in car in enclosed garage, died from CO2 poisoning, that we did not think suicide. All right.
So I guess when he says everyone's trying to be relatively respectful of the dead, he forgot to say except him.
That we did not think suicide. That was, and then the friend tried to dress it up, talking about, you know, she had a reputation. She had a reputation for going to sleep everywhere. And I'm like, girl, listen, as much people as we know, and as much as some of us don't drink and drive, the hardest part is driving home. At the point in which you got in the doggone car, at the point in which you got in the car, pulled it in the garage, let the garage down, then you fall asleep. At that point, they said the car wasn't running. Well, had it been running or had it not been running, if she died from CO2, it was running at some point. So maybe it ran out of gas. Okay? Nevertheless, and I'm not trying to be funny because y'all know I love the Scotts and I love Wanda, but my relationship...
Yeah, you love the Scotts and you love Wanda, but obviously you didn't love Keke. No love lost, I guess.
Aside, if I did not know these people, okay, my thoughts would still be, it sounds like she offed herself in that doggone car.
And let me pause it right there for a moment, because I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, it could have sounded like that to some people when the news came out that she passed away in her car from carbon monoxide poisoning. But there are so many stories across the country where that has happened to people and it was not intentional. So we can't automatically go there to think that that's exactly what that was. But there have been times where people intentionally did that. And also, I can recall Keke discussing when she had, not been home, and she got a hotel room and stayed at a hotel for a night. So when the friend said, or the person that, said that they were a friend, put that statement out there, I don't think they meant she would just drop to sleep wherever she was. Like if she was on a park bench, she would go to sleep or whatever. But I really don't believe that she did that. I don't believe that that was intentional. And she did discuss about there would be times when, she would be tired and she was, not home, and she got a room for the night and slept at the hotel. So I think that the friend, this is my thoughts, I think that that was what the friend was alluding to when she made that statement. But I'm gonna talk about this after this clip plays, because I really just feel that what he says is extremely disrespectful. And let's just say that that was intentional, what she did. I don't think that it was, but why are you even talking about it like this? Like, what is the purpose of even doing that? Because that's not going to bring her back. And it actually proves the point as to why the uncle did not want the Scotts and their mother-in-law, to come to any celebrations of life.
Okay. Then it didn't make it any better. It didn't make it any better that her uncle then got on and said they don't want anyone from the cast at the funeral, and saying that the way they treated her and the way they isolated her left her mentally unstable and yada, 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 and she was broken and so on and so forth. And then, basically alluding to the fact that the stress and the drama and all of that from the show is what drove her off the deep end. I'm going to tell you something, okay? And I hope that this doesn't come back to affect the relationship that I do have with the people over there. But I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to say it out loud. I don't feel no ways tired about Keke. I don't feel no ways tired. I don't feel no ways tired about any mental anguish that she experienced as a result of being on that show. And here is why. Because it's not like, she was originally casted on the show and then all of this accidental stuff happened to her. No. Your cousin was on that show, minding her doggone business, doing her doggone thing. You wanted to be in the mix so bad that you were willing to even cross your cousin and go over there to the dark side. You went over there to the dark side, all right, and then you got to messing around over there, and they kicked your behind off the show after you were used and did your dirty work and your devilment. Then I guess the internet must have ate your behind alive, and it became more than you can bear. I am sorry. I have a very hard time feeling bad for people with their self-induced issues. None of what Keke went through had to be. It was all self-induced. And secondly, I'm sorry. You are in charge of your mental well-being, your mental health, your esteem. If you already knew your esteem was towed down to the ground, if you already knew you was unstable and fragile, then you shouldn't have ran your behind up on that TV. And moreover, you shouldn't have ran up on the TV doing dark, nasty, dirty stuff that eventually came back to bite your behind in the butt. I am sorry that her family is grieving. I am sorry that this woman didn't have any better ways to cope if she did, in fact, commit suicide. However, nobody did nothing to you, baby. Nobody did nothing to you. Everything that you experienced as a result of Love and Marriage Huntsville, you brought it on yourself. You brought it on yourself, and I'm sorry. You don't get to go off and do something tragic to yourself and then expect everybody to automatically change their position and have a whole bunch of doggone sympathy. I am sorry that some children lost their parents. I am sorry that a husband lost their wife. But when it comes to Keke and whatever she may have been experiencing mentally, I don't feel no ways tired. I don't feel no ways tired. You went over there and did all that wrong. Flipped on your family, telling people personal business, sleeping with the ops. you and put you out, and you read how the world was viewing you. Now all of a sudden, the stress, the stress. Oh, I'm so stressed. I'm so mentally unstable, girl. Bye.
I'm not playing any more of that. I'm disgusted. And here's what I'm going to say about this. First of all, he was speaking as if Keke was listening to him. And who knows? She might have a moment, from where she's resting to hear the foolishness that's coming out of his mouth. But I don't really think she has the time to listen to this YouTube vlogger that has amassed a very large following, by the way, being the way that he is. So he believes that is what's going to keep him there. But trust and believe, pride comes before fall. And I don't care how big you get, because I've said this over the years in business, all right? God could allow people to build and build and build and grow to the point where they just think that nothing could take them down and they are indestructible. And I'm not saying this in a way that I'm trying to take them down or take them out or whatever, but life just has a way of handling things like that. So you could build and grow, and people could get so big where they just really believe that they're invincible and untouchable. And then God will allow something to happen. And all those years that you built and grew and you amassed so much, and then in the blink of an eye, it's gone. I was reading a story recently about Sharon Stone, the actress. She's 66 years old right now. I don't know her personal life, and I'm not saying that anything that happened to her happened because of actions that she took or whatever, right? But I'm just basically using this as an example to say all of the years she built and grew her career, she had amassed so much, A-list actress, and then something happened. I think she had a stroke, and she said that she was down. She almost lost her life. She had been down for maybe about 7 months or something like that. Came back to find out that $18 million that she had saved up, gone. All of the years of hard work that she put in, gone. She said she didn't even have her refrigerator, wasn't even in her name. People did her dirty and whatever. And again, I'm not saying that this happened to her because of things that she did to cause it to happen. But what I'm saying is you could build and grow so much over time, and then in a moment's notice, boom, gone. You have to be careful about how you treat people and how you speak about people. And there's nothing wrong with sharing your thoughts, views, and opinions about people, but when it gets to this type of stuff, I'm sorry. I don't care for Meghan Markle. I don't hate the woman. I don't know her, but I've shared a lot of commentary talking about her because I don't like that. I feel that she is a biracial woman who really did not put herself living in the African American community, grew up privileged, grew up with her white, dad and family, and her mom too, who was black. But I'm just saying, she used, I feel, the black community when she did not feel welcome in the UK, and used it for her benefit, and still doesn't really showcase herself as being a black woman. But she's not. She's biracial. But I digress. If something were to happen to her, I would not be sitting here talking about, oh, well, you know what? I don't feel sorry because of blah, blah. I could never do that. So again, I'm just speaking about that as another example. Keke is gone. Her children's mother is gone. Her husband's wife is gone. Her mom's daughter is gone. Like, why are you saying these things? What does it benefit you? Feel it if you feel it, but to put that out there, I don't feel no ways tied because blah, blah, because of a stupid, petty reality show that I feel, my personal opinion, based on the things that she shared, the interviews that she's done, and the relationship that she had with Melody, I feel that she already was slated to be on the show, and her cousin and her cousin's husband snaked her to not be on the show, to not be a part. And when she got the opportunity to finally be on there, no, she wasn't rubbing her palms together and say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get him now. No, she was talking about things that were already out there that, quite frankly, nobody freaking cares about. Even funkydineva said, yeah, Marcel probably has cheated on Tisha. Nobody cares. She's the only one that talks about these people tried to destroy my marriage. I don't care if everybody in the world says that Marcel cheated on Tisha. The only people that could destroy her marriage is her and her husband, not the thoughts and opinions and chatter of other people outside of it. So to say that Keke does not deserve any sympathy because she came on the show and was defending herself against these accusations and allegations of her basically being like a crackhead, like that's the type of time that Marcel and Keke, Marcel was on about Keke and Tisha was on about Keke, and that woman was out here to try to clear her name as best as she could to say, yeah, I did have an addiction, but I was addicted to pain medications that I started taking after I had a medical procedure done. And I have been doing my damnedest to fight hard to not be that. And I believe that she had kicked that. But they put that label on her to just basically just make her out to be just a low-level, low-life crackhead who was scrounging change and walking the streets to try to get some money for her next hit. That's the light that they were trying to shine on her, and I believe that she was trying to do different. So I don't have an issue with her being on the show. It's possible that maybe mentally she was not ready to be there, but I feel that she wanted to be there because she was initially offered that opportunity, and when she got the opportunity again, she wanted to get on there to try to clear her name. She didn't just become a part of the cast just to talk about Tisha and Marceau. They made it about that. I really believe she held back on a lot that she did know, trying to spare them, trying to spare her cousin that she did love. And she has said every time she was asked, yeah, I would, definitely open the door to having a relationship with her. Tisha was the one that said she is DEAD to me. You throw water in my face? The girl didn't use a weapon and, try to take your life. Like, seriously, get out of here. Get out of here. It's ridiculous. So for him to say these things, to act as if, well, she caused it on herself. No, I believe that stigma that they tried to place on her, which they did, because a lot of people, they still believe that this woman was having issues with addiction. When Melody tried to help her, she unplanned, did a drug test, clean, and Melody unfortunately has dealt with a lot of betrayal from people who are on that show and not really knowing who to trust. But Melody didn't cut this woman off to say, you're DEAD to me. She said, I wish you well, with the way my life is and the way I have things set up and I have to take care of my children. This woman, it may not look like it to some people, but Melody really is fighting for her life and the life of her children, because this woman was married to a narcissistic psychopath for 16 years. Was it 16 years? I don't care if it was 6 years. I don't care if it was 6 months. That could do so much damage to someone. And this person has still been trying to destroy her life and try to stop her from being successful. Not dating, but screwing this chick that he had been screwing for all those years off and on while he was married to Melody, and allowing that person to continuously verbally harass this woman online. Like, it's just disgusting. So Melody choosing to separate herself from Keke, I don't believe that she was doing it in a malicious way. She said, I wish you well. She was talking about, you were supposed to be writing a book. Thought you were going to do this, thought you were going to do that. But because the show is one of her revenue streams, and she was not trusting that you're not trying to do something like your family and other people that have done that, showcase themselves at first to be a friend to me and then later flip on me, I cannot be around that. I don't think Melody did anything wrong, and I would never, ever put blame on Melody for choosing to separate herself from Keke when she was trying to help her out, because I've been there too, with you trying to help somebody out and then later on they flip on you. And I'm not saying that Keke flipped on her, but I'm just saying Melody, she was in a place where she wasn't knowing what's what. And she has to be careful about who she allows to be in her circle. So with that being said, funkydineva saying, you went over there to the dark side. You went over there to deal with the ops. You know what? It's like, Scott's, I'm calling the names out. Latishascott, Marcel Scott. If Melody is so much of an op to you, then why don't y'all get your asses up off of that show? Because I'm sick of it. Honestly, the show needs to be just canceled at this point because it's just dead in the water. It really is. It's disgusting. I'm not watching the new season. I haven't even watched the clips from this most recent episode that played because I'd watched some of the clips from the episode on some of the Instagram blogs. I just don't care anymore. It's just disgusting. So to hear him say this, it's like, not saying that the Scotts had to put a battery in his back to do that, because we know it doesn't take much for him to go off. But I would say that he definitely was, in a sense, speaking for his friends. I really do. So he proved Keke's uncle right by saying, you all don't need to be here because you did not have a relationship with her. You really was doing things that did not put her in a good mental space, and you don't even know it, or maybe you do and you don't care. So why show up now to act like you're grieving and come to celebrate her life after she's gone when you weren't celebrating her while she was here? Actually, when she was here, you wanted to say that she was already DEAD. So I am completely disgusted by this. I am kind of at a loss for words. I don't even want this to go on much longer because I could say a whole lot more, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think, because I just really was like, wow, her body isn't even cold yet, and this is what you're doing. Her spirit has already, been lifted, and I believe is in a better place, but the body ain't even cold yet, and you're just saying some really despicable, disheartening things. And like I said, even if it's somebody that I hated, I might not be saying, I'm going to miss them and, and blah, blah, blah. Because I've talked about this already, about my feelings about, stuff like that. I'm not saying you have to be, fake in terms of, but let's just be honest. Letitia was being fake when she put that post out there and talk about, this is hard for my family. This is hard for us. And the uncle was basically refuting that to say, it ain't hard for you. It's not hard for you. As a matter of fact, I'll make it easier for you to say, don't even show up at the church so we don't have to remove you or block you from coming in, or wherever they're going to, do what they're doing for her. So, yeah, you don't have to act like you are missing the person or, those different things like that. But you definitely you don't have to go off on the deep end to say, well, I don't feel sorry and this is why. Like that is just really unnecessary, because they're no longer here. They're no longer here. I'm done. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. Thanks for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.